Alright, here's what we got. So our semester test will be next week, next Wednesday, right? I know you're not gonna be. Alright, but what we need to do today is review a little bit, so we know how this works, right? But last time we just started coming up with different words. But this time I'm gonna ask you questions. Alright, so whenever you answer a question correctly, you'll come up and write the answer in the block. Okay? Does that make sense? You can use your notes. Alright, so look at the learning objective, right? We had 3 learning objectives that we covered throughout this unit. One of them was we could list the reasons for social divisions. And what was the other one? We did one on the Estates General, why King Louis called the Estates General. We could understand why people stormed the Bastille. And we knew all 4 of the reasons that France was in economic depression, right? Alright, but today, all we want to do is we want to list the characteristics of the French Revolution. And a characteristic is what?
A word describing it.
Huh?
A word describing it.
A word that describes, right? So, if I was to ask someone, what does it mean to be free from blame? Who could answer that question?
Justified.
Come on, Ian, you get to write the first one. Let's try to raise our hands, okay? That way, all of us will get a shot. Good, Ian. All right. So if I was now to ask you that during the French Revolution, the price of what food skyrocketed?
Bread.
You have to raise your hand. Raise your hand. I'm going to just write that one down, okay? Since Ian spit it out. Alright, so if I ask you what was one cause of the French Revolution, could somebody tell me right? 7 Years' War.
How long did the 7 Years' War last?
Yeah, how long did the 7 Years' War last?
23 years.
7. Who was the 7 Years' War fought? Who fought the 7 Years' War? Britain and France. Good. You want to write that down? So Britain and France has a big history, right? They always were in conflict. So if I asked you, who paid the majority of the taxes? Philip, the third estate. Good. Thanks, sir. Okay. What about, let me ask you this question. Who can tell me what is a system in which people or groups are ranked one above the other? I'm going to let Will have this one.
Social contract.
A what?
Social hierarchy.
Social hierarchy. And a hierarchy, how do we explain a hierarchy? How are they ranked?
That's right. In social divisions.
They're ranked in social divisions according to what? Okay. I forgot that's what.
The power of
H-I-E
So
or
they're wealth in their power, right?
H-I-E or A-R-C-H-R.
I wasn't sure if it was high as in high or air on the water table.
Thanks, sir.
Yes.
All right. Who can identify one other cause of the French Revolution? Frank?
American Revolution.
American Revolution, good. why was that a cause of the American, why was the American Revolution a cause?
Because they gave their resources for,
Yeah, what, they were doing what?
they gave resources and troops.
Troops, right, they were allies to the 13 colonies, right?
America. Doesn't France have Canada?
Does France have Canada? They used to, not anymore. Alright, there's one more primary reason that the French went to the revolution. Jason, that's the one I'm looking for. Come up here and get that one for me. Deficit spending. What is the definition of deficit spending?
More.
Tank?
A country that has more money going out than coming in.
A country that has more money going out than it does coming in. That's deficit spending. Can our households have deficit spending? Absolutely, right? Whenever we get beyond our means and we go to start buying new four-wheelers, new guns, new CDs, new games and stuff like that, and we don't have $100 coming in, you know, that's deficit spending, right?
You're in debt.
You are in debt. All right, let's look and see. Got that one. Got that one. What is a social class of people who own the means of production? Will's the first.
Burgundies.
I know
The bourgeoisie.
The bourgeoisie. Would you like me to spell it or do you want to try?
Yellow verse. Or.
B-O-U-R.
Let's see how close he gets.
He got pretty close.
You got really close. Now let me write it. You were really close.
I spelled it.
All right. So who can give me an example of someone who could classify as the bourgeoisie? Now, a doctor. Come on. Just write that one in the same box. Come over here and write it. Can you reach that one? You can reach that one. Good, loud. So doctors, lawyers, merchants, anybody who owns the means of production. What does it mean to own the means of production? Huh?
Owning a farm or a mill or something.
You're running it, right? You own that mill, okay? Or you own.
The business.
Yeah, I'll give you an example of a guy from Arkansas who would classify as bourgeoisie.
Yeah.
Dude from Walmart.
Sam Walton, right? Yeah. All right, let's move on.
One of the world.
Okay, what about, who can tell me the difference in a revolt and a revolution? Jane.
A revolt is like, they're going against the government, but they are not violent, but a revolution is when they overthrow the government with violence.
Very good. So a revolt is what? An uprising. And a revolution, he said, was
A violent overthrowing the government.
overthrow the government. Or a social system, right?
With violence.
Okay, you like violence in there?
Or via violence.
All right. Let's see. What was the name of the French government prior to the French Revolution? Philip. The Estates General. Come on up.
Get it. Man, I looked at you so close for some
What? Pay attention, guys. Right here. kind of government did the French society have prior to the French Revolution? Take
Absolute monarchy.
absolute monarchy. Come on. Monarchy's fine. So in other words, if we have a monarchy, who's running the show? One king, right? Who can tell me what that king's name was, Riley?
King Louis the 16th.
King Louis the 16th. A little bit slow, Don. A little bit slow.
Like Ali.
Hey, it's me.
Unit, body,
That's it.
how do you do that? No, what's how the
It's
like? But you said it was right.
Close enough. All right. That's good. That's good. What do we call a social class in France prior to the French Revolution? Anybody? Anybody that hadn't been? Philip, come on. In a state, come on.
I should have known.
Thanks, sir. All right. What group of people belong to the second estate?
Hey,
Come on, you already you got it. You can't do it. Can't do it.
Next time you speak out loud, can you jump him?
Yeah, every time you speak out loud, we'll start taking five. All right. What group of people belong to the first estate? Don.
Clergy.
Good.
Oh.
Got it. Got it.
I think
My head's so clear.
Hey, there's not a name, clergy.
I tried my best.
Cleargy.
What group of people belong to the third estate? Jason.
You got Cajun. You got Oregon workers.
Hang on. Peasants.
We got Oregon workers and
Farmers.
farmers.
Communist?
There's one more.
Commoners.
I thought that was the name of the
Basically.
And soldiers.
Soldiers.
are in the same
Well, under like Catholic, I can see them being
Guys. All right. Let's carry on. Let's carry on. Let me ask you this.
Carry on, son.
Where did the people in Paris go to get gunpowder and weapons?
The Bastille.
The Bastille. I'll just write it. That's okay.
I wasn't gonna get it right anyway, so.
All right. The Bastille. And what were they looking for at the Bastille, Riley?
weapons and gunpowder.
Weapons. You want to write it? Want me to?
I don't care.
Don't matter to me.
Is this patchwork?
All right. Let's see. What did they use in France to execute people that were talking against the revolution?
The guillotine.
The guillotine.
Whenever you cut off the head.
That is.
Where's this how you spell it, sir?
Huh?
Where's this how you spell it, sir?
That is pretty much how you spell it.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, I don't know.
All right.
That's how you
So,
spell it today.
Do something.
That's how you spell it.
there you go.
As long as you cut the head.
Somebody tell me what France's Independence Day is. What's the date? Let me get it from Brady. July 4th, what year now? What year? 1789. 1776 is whose Independence Day?
Ours.
It's ours, right?
So we're twinsies.
We are twins. All right, let me ask you this. You remember when I told you that, so we know that the French government was the Estates General, right? And they showed up one time after 175 years, the king called them all together. And then the first estate and the second estate locked them out, right? So the third estate broke away from that French government. What did they call themselves? Dom.
Oh, God, I hate it.
The National Assembly. You want to write it? Or we do it? Good. The National Assembly.
You just want to get your hand up first.
All right, and the National Assembly, whenever they were locked out, remember they went across the street or down the block and found an abandoned building, and they took an oath. What is that oath called?
Tennis court oath.
The tennis court oath.
It wasn't in a venue. It was at a tennis court.
You're right. All right, what kind of oath did they take? Riley?
To never leave each other behind or whatever.
Yeah, to never separate, right? They were going to stay as one.
What if they did separate?
Huh? What if they what?
Separate. Oh.
What if they separated? Then everything that they were doing would start to fall by the wayside. So that third assembly, they're the people that's revolting, right? The National Assembly are the people who's revolting. So they vow to always stick together when they're trying to overthrow that government. See what I mean? All right. We talked a little bit about it. We said that they cut off about 17,000 people's heads, right? And that was called, does anybody remember what?
The French Massacre?
The Reign of Terror. The Reign of Terror, good.
It just sounded so familiar.
All right, who was King Louis's wife?
Catherine the Great.
Marie Antoinette, good. And Marie Antoinette, was she a good person?
No.
Was she, when she found out that everybody was starving and stuff, did she start doing stuff for the poor? What did she do?
He just ate it.
She said, let them eat cake and all that stuff. She just kept living a lavish lifestyle, right? All right, let's talk about, okay, so the National Assembly forms, okay? And then, I remember I told you that the third estate goes through about 3 or 4 stages where they change their name. It goes from the third estate to the National Assembly to the Directory, the National Convention, then the Directory, and then this guy, this big war hero, comes in and takes over France. Does anyone know his name? Napoleon. Good.
He was not a hero by any means, but okay.
He was.
Is that like ice cream? This has that ice cream.
That's you're thinking of.
Neapolitan.
No, you're thinking of
Neopol.
that movie where he eats ice cream. Remember Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure? You ever seen that?
Yeah, but isn't that a nail
Yeah,
polish?
there's
Sir?
It's like
That maybe ask her. I don't know what
We're
she's
talking about the multicolor, the strawberry chocolate and
Yeah.
that's new delicious.
Let me ask you this. What does it mean? What's the word that we use to describe someone's pride in their country?
Patriotism.
Not wrong. That's not the one I'm looking for. It's pride in to have big pride in one's country. Nationalism. That's what I'm looking for.
Oh!
Okay, citizenship.
Well, I'm not wrong.
All right, so we got enough of these things filled in to know a little bit about this, right? if we was to, who belongs to the third estate? What's so important about the Bastille?
They took it over.
They try to take it over, when they try to take it over, she was a huge deal, whatever.
Why is it significant?
Because it started the revolution, because until then it had been pretty much peaceful, they had just not done anything violent.
Good, Jimmy. Mark the beginning
The rebellion.
of the revolution. Alright? What did the guillotine replace?
But that,
An executioner.
Huh?
so the death penalty would.
What did it replace? So we know in France at this time that they were,
Oh, they had death by firing squad, but now it's guillotine, is that it?
No, they had-
Fire squad?
what would they use to behead you before the guillotine?
The heads in.
Oh,
Execution of.
it's the
What's it called?
executioner.
The axe, you want the head?
Execution.
Yes, that's all it is just a one of those
It's
medieval axes, sir.
It's EXE.
Oh my Jesus, it's a.
Oh my lord, you can't spell bourgeoisie, but you want me to spell everything right. I got you.
I put his axe.
I
It's not bourgeoisie.
Oh my gosh.